If you've seen the title, you know why we're here. And because of the title and why we're here, we're in this mini special. We're going to need a hat. You may now explode, internet. Doing these two, as you can see, so there they are. The two titans, the fight we were all waiting for. So, disclaimer: if you liked this movie, good for you. If you didn't like this movie, good for you. If you wanted to, do a nuclear blast against the director, don't. Instead, leave a like, because that's what you should do. So, here goes nothing. After a lot of hard work getting this put together. So, how was the movie, you may ask? Well, it was great. It was fun. And I'm basically going to start with the good, and then we're going to move on to the bad. Because it's kind of interesting. The good and the bad. So let's start with the good. Okay? The good is the monster fights. They're epic. They're 10 out of 10. They're epic. The animations and special effects were also good. The music. We'll get to that. I think that's it. That's really it. Now, if you think that was short, I mean, the monster fights encompass literally the movie, so there isn't much left to talk to that's missing, because everything else is the bad. So the bad. The bad is, well, there hardly is any story. If you came to this movie looking for a story, you're not going to find much of one. If you came to this movie expecting exceptional acting, you aren't going to find much of that either. It kind of, I'll get to that too. Like the only people in this movie that really seemed to care are these two. Let's see. So, the story, there isn't much of one. Like I said. The other bad is, like I said, with the acting, is, well, I'll put it to you this way. The main protagonist in this is Madison, played by our good and faithful Billy Bobby Brown, as I call her. She doesn't care. Put it simply, she just doesn't care in this movie. Like, I remember looking at what people had to say about how she did in the King of Monsters movie. People were kind of iffy about her, though she gained some respect because of her screaming at the Titans. It's like she knew and was like, you guys don't like me? Well, fine. You don't have to, because I'm basically not going to care in this movie. That's what it felt like. It felt like she went into this movie and was like, she knew this movie was going to be a rush job, so she just did just that, because this movie literally is that. It's a rush job. Random fact, this movie was, the director of this movie, I thought I recognized his name. He is the same guy who made that one Death Note movie that was, like, had only, for me at least, one good scene. And that was the one where Elle was, like, chasing Light through the city, on the run, basically. That's the only scene in that entire movie that was fun to watch. But this movie, yeah, the only like people in this movie who seemed to have any purpose at all was the engineer, the deaf girl, the woman with the deaf girl, and the Hollow Earth guy. That was it. That was it. Like, they did Sarazawa's son pretty dirty in this movie. They did. Like, it was like you go to one of those celebrity dinners and you're like, oh, hey, that's so-and-so. And you're like, oh, really? What does he do? Oh, he works in so-and-so place. And you're like, oh, let's go talk to him. And then he's gone. That's literally what happens. We aren't given a reason why he's at the evil place called Apex. We aren't told really why Apex even exists, except as an evil corporation that's just there for the money. We don't know why. He's there. And it's like, he's there. We're told his name. We're told he's like he helped build this, helped build the monstrosity that is used later. That's it. And he's gone. So, that's all. It was kind of sad that he ends up being Palpatine's aft. Literally. It was really a disservice. It was depressing to watch. I felt like a lot of times all I could hear throughout the movie was Cinnamon Wind saying, insert actor here or actress here. Doesn't even care. Because I don't. Now, people were hyping a lot the boy from Deadpool. He honestly was just, again, there. I don't even think he knew what he was supposed to do because his eyes were darting around a lot like, okay, I gotta say this. Okay, I gotta say this. It was a very rushed movie. Like, I get it. You delay a movie, people's interest you may lose people's interest, but the way this movie was done it felt like you couldn't even breathe. Like, this is the movie, okay, in a sum up. Boom, Kong. Boom, they leave Skullland. Boom, Godzilla and Kong fight. Boom, they end up fighting again and again. Boom, they fight again. Boom, Mechagodzilla. Boom, movie's over. That's the sum up of it. Like, I'm sorry, in every other Godzilla movie I've ever seen, and I've seen all of them, there has always been a plot. There's always been, you get at least the motivations of everybody. You know, like, that's all you need. Like, Godzilla 2000, for example. But because no one seems to listen to me about it. Well, except my friends. In that, we know the motivations of everybody. The research team, the team that's trying to, research Godzilla, their motivation to find out if they can use him for benefits for modern medicine. The bad guy, Katagiri, wants to kill him because that's all he wants to do. Motivation. We don't know what Sarazawa's motivation was, or why he was in Apex in the first place, or why there was barely any security in Apex. There was a lot of cheese in this movie. A lot of cheese. The other thing is that there are a lot of plot holes. Like, enormous ones. Like, where's the Warlord from King of Monsters? Where is that one scientist guy? The guy that was with, Madison's dad? And that other scientist, lawyer guy, where is he? Like, they're missing. And, where's the Mothra twin? And where's Rodan? And where's, well, Mothra's probably still in a cocoon, so that's fine, but it's like they don't exist. It's like these two were the only ones duking it out. Like, it would have been cool if during the final fight between Godzilla, Kong, and Mechagodzilla, if Rodan just appeared just to help out. I would have been okay with that. But he doesn't. No Titan appear except these two. Now, my favorite part in this entire movie, and some people may be surprised about this, it's actually the part when Godzilla and Mechagodzilla's built fires collide. That was probably the coolest part in the entire movie. I mean, these two fighting was awesome, but that was pretty cool. Mechagodzilla just was... Ooh, he looked good. I'll give him that. He looked really good. And it was good. Like, I pretty much figured they were going to do a mind control, he will become sentient thing, of course, because that's what they did in the originals. I figured they were going to do that. But between you all and me, it would have made more sense to me if the Mothra twin was the one involved with the mind control process than Sarazawa's son, because at least she would know what to do with all this stuff, because she and her twin sister were connected, and she would have had more motivation against dude over here instead of Sarazawa. Well, besides Sarazawa's son, like, it would have been made more sense because she lost her sister to this guy over here. So yeah, there was a lot of questions. I was left with a lot of questions. I was sitting there a lot of times, like, geeking out in the fights, but there were also times I just sat there and I was like, what? Why? And I go to all these movies I go to with an empty mind. Like, that's something I wish other critics would do, is go to movies with their heads just cleared out, just dump everything, and let the movie tell you what it's trying to tell you, and then ask your questions. Now, I gave this movie an 8 out of 10. I would watch this again, but the funny thing is that this movie does not beat King of Monsters. It doesn't, because King of Monsters is better. Because, I mean, it just is. The monster fights in this were more prominent, and I appreciate that. But there was just something more in King of Monsters. There was more passion in King of Monsters than there was in this movie. And that goes too with the music. Now, the music has an oomph. Don't get me wrong, it has an oomph. But it doesn't have that Bear McCready oomph. That McCready just... I wish they had kept him. Because then it just would have been so much better if they had kept him, because the music, the guy who did the music, gives an oomph, but it's not, like, it doesn't feel powerful. It's scary, but it doesn't have that oomph that I just was like, yes, to, I watched this in theaters. Like, I wasn't going to do it any other way, so that was fun. But yeah, I think, like, and then the other thing is I wanted to talk about the fights. So round 1 was Godzilla vs. Kong in the ocean, and of course we all know that Godzilla is an aquatic creature, so of course he's going to win that fight, and I did say that if Kong fought Godzilla in the water, of course Godzilla's going to win, because Godzilla just can drag him under the water and it's over. And that almost happened. Kong almost lost. Well, he practically did lose that fight. Now, Kong versus Godzilla in the city was a 50-50, although it was more kind of in Godzilla's favor, though Kong, as you can see in this picture here, has that axe. Because the only way to defeat Godzilla, as we all know, is really through a part of himself, really. It's the only way you can beat him. Or at least not get horribly hurt. It was really cool seeing Godzilla in Tokyo. Like, where he belongs. It was really nice. But again, I feel like they really rushed this movie. I get the delays. They were worried people would That's what I'm likely thinking, is that they were worried people would have lost interest. But as soon as you guys, I would say this to Legendary and Warner Brothers, you guys dropped that trailer, the first trailer. As soon as you did, you had all of us hyped. But you kept spoon feeding us the rest of the movie, and I did stop watching the trailers at one point. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna wait. And I'm glad I did, because I was right about things and I was wrong about other things, which I'm happy about. But I'm just not happy that this movie was so sped up. There is one guy that made a cameo appearance in this movie. I don't know if anyone recognized him, but I did. I don't know the guy's name. I just recognized his voice. He's that tall guy in John Wick at the hotel. The desk clerk, that guy. I forget his name. But I recognize him anywhere because he seems to like to play those kinds of people where he's like this, you know, he likes to play those servant type of people, or just people with a lot of power who are scary but also are doing it for a good reason. But yeah, we don't know what happened to Monarch either. Like, Madison's dad is running Monarch. We don't, like, it apparently became a relief effort. It seems weaker. We aren't told, like, what happened to Monarch after Sarazan's passing. All we know is that we don't know anything. We aren't told anything. We aren't even told why, you know, Monarch and Apex are against each other. We aren't told much of why the Hollow Earth guy. Well, we are told why the Hollow Earth guy quit Monarch, but his motivation is kind of, you know, it's well, what's the word? It's tinfoil. Really. It could crumpled up and be like, you left just because of this? Like, really? So yeah. That's my review of the movie. It's a good movie. If you ignore the acting and stuff, which I did, I was just like, these people don't care anymore. They don't know why they're here anymore. They're like, oh, wait, we need to do this again. Oh, like, there was more passion. Like I said, there was more passion in King of Monsters than there was in this movie. This movie just felt like they were just giving us what we wanted. They're like, here, this is what you wanted. Now give us your money. And while I did, I still have a lot of questions. That's what I'd like. You still have a lot of things to answer for, buddy. Like, we can throw over our theories. We can say, you know, who won this, who won that. People want to say that Godzilla lost the fight against Mechagodzilla, but the truth is, but in my opinion, after thinking about it and rewatching the fight one more time, honestly, the fight wasn't over. Like, it could have gone either way. And it's like my dad said, because he went with us to watch the movie. He said that it was really open. Like, either could have won that fight. Really. Yes, Godzilla was being tossed around. But you will have to remember, he also fought Monkey over here. So, it comes to the question, you know, what if Godzilla fought Mechagodzilla, you know, before fighting him? Like, at full strength, instead of being worn down by Kong. It would probably been maybe different. We don't know. What I do know is that it was really unclear who really won that fight. Like, yes, Mechagodzilla threw Godzilla around, but Godzilla just kept getting up. That's the thing. Godzilla just kept getting up, because Godzilla used to be thrown around. He's been thrown around ever since 1954. He's had it. Well, I mean, he's had his fights. I'm wondering what they're gonna do next. They didn't have an after credit scene, and I'm gonna go find out why. Cause apparently the directors talked about it. But I'm still kind of confused at why they didn't. Because does that mean it's over? That's all we're gonna get, or what? I'm pretty sure. I wonder if they're going to do a Destroyer in the next one. They're going to, do that. I mean, I would definitely go and see it if I'm spared. If we're all spared, we'll go and see it. But this was worth waiting as long as it took. Like, I think it was like 70 years. I think someone said it was like 70 years before this happened. I don't know. It's been a while. Something like that. It's been a long time. And now that they've fought, we have, of course, our winner is Big G over here. We know that he won. It's obvious he won the third round. It's kind of funny. I remember laughing as they're roaring at each other. It's like Godzilla's just like, ah, and Kong's just like, okay, you have bad breath. Ah, take my bad breath. And they're just like, fine. It was funny. It was fun. But I do think they could have done better. They gave us what we asked for. And they could have done better with it. But they did I guess I could say they did what they could. I guess. I don't know. But again, I give this movie an 8.7. Yeah, we're going to put it down as 7. A 7 out of 10. Not 8. I'm going to put it at 7. 7 meaning I would go and watch this again. It's going to be on the shelf with every other Godzilla movie, and I will always look at it with admiration. But King of Monsters just is above it. Until, like, if they have McCready come back in the next movie and do the music for it, and they actually, show some love in the next movie, then sure. I don't want, like, Billy Brown to be the protagonist in the next movie. She just, please don't do that again. If anything, I would be okay if Sarazawa's son came back, redeemed himself, and we actually find out why he joined, Apex in the first place. And so on. Like, that's all I want. I just want to know why. No more cheese. Okay? You don't need to be cheesing us, Hollywood. We don't like it. Especially not me. But yeah, that's all I've got. Leave a like and subscribe because there's always room for more. See you next video. Till next time, people.